Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, winds are still howling here, and we had intense winds 2 nights ago that were just insane. We're not the only ones, though. Here you see destructive wind and dust storms sends people running for their lives, screaming, honestly, and there's videos here, and this is in Argentina. And so this hit on the 2nd, today is the 4th. Yeah, that's when we were having those freaking incredible winds, too. You gotta wonder, this is part of what we're going deep into with the grand solar minimum, the magnetosphere decline, strengthening of these storms. Look at this line, this dust storm just coming out of nowhere. And here you'll see just people running for cover, screaming and yelling and just trying to gather their belongings. And there's some other videos here as well. Just tremendous, and we're hearing it from people everywhere about the strength of the winds, the storms, everything's going up in intensity. And it is not just simply that people are covering this more. This is different. And over here we see sinkholes. Now check out this one. This large sinkhole is spewing fire, and it's so hot as well. It's burning super intense. This is in the Uyghur autonomous region in China. And this isn't the only one, which is interesting. There's a lot of massive earth changes going on. The globe is going through an incredible period of change. And this has been starting to warm up for a while, but now it's getting intense. And it's a flaming crater, and like I said, it's not the only one. This is in Russia, and here you see flames rising from the cracks in the ground, and this is in Temruk region in Russia. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, that's really cool. The flames are just coming off the ground, huh?
Yeah, and like so we had Russia. We have this over in China, and then we go over to India, and they're calling it Hell City, and you see the flames rising from this area too. So, I mean, we're seeing a lot of volcanic activity. We're seeing a lot of really weird earthquakes, even though in a lot of areas these earthquakes are not super intense. They're just unusual. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to jump over here. Well, let's take a peek over here. We see White Island volcano remains in an elevated state of arrest, and this is in New Zealand. And a small earthquake shakes Louisa County, Virginia. Virginia doesn't get a lot of quakes, guys. This one wasn't big. It's a 2.7, and it was about 2.5 miles below the surface. But it's just an unusual area. And then we see here early morning earthquake is the latest to rattle Tennessee in a month. And it was a 2.7. Tennessee has been getting a swarm. And, you know, we've talked about the New Madrid and when that comes online. We've talked about the eclipse of August 2017 and the one that's going to come in 2024, and where they cross is exactly in that spot in the New Madrid. So, you know, is that a sign from above that the New Madrid's going to go in 2024? And here we see 2 small earthquakes shake this Pennsylvania county as well. Again, weird places, unusual quakes. And we see Puerto Rico got hit by a 5.0. And right here, we're looking at 54 quakes in this area. So as we roll on in, you could see still a lot of quake activity. And, you know, USGS doesn't even show all the quakes. They always have a tendency of not showing them over here or off the coast of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. But you got 54 showing right here in this area. And we're seeing this. We're seeing a lot of unusual ones. While we're looking at them, we see a 5.0 in Afghanistan. And we see several going on again. CSEM is a better source for what's happening in Europe. And so let's just jump over there for a second and take a look at what's going on over in Europe. And, like right here, see, up here in Canada, talking about some interesting ones. Not big. Well, decent actually. 4.2. And this is in Labrador, Newfoundland. Unusual places. We're seeing a lot of quakes. And so, when we look at Europe, we see a lot of activity going on. Look at all the swarming over here off of Greece. Tons of swarming. Turkey's still swarming. Massive swarms going on through there as well, and up through Italy. So there are a lot of major changes going on. Of course, we have tons of floods. Floods destroy 1,746 homes, claiming 21 lives, leaving more than 15,000 homeless in Tanzania. And we have drought hitting Barbados. Barbados is a beautiful island. I was blessed enough to be there once, and thought it was wonderful. People were really friendly, had a nice festive feel for it, and we see drought conditions there are expected to persist well into the first 7 months of 2020. And 2019 was the driest year on record in 70 years. So we're seeing all sorts of unusual conditions across the globe. And then Fuego is having Strombolian explosions up to 15,000 feet in Guatemala. Remember, that was a deadly one when that one took off. And the locust outbreak keeps getting worse. And it's a full-blown crisis in East Africa. And already there's crop shortages. We've had so much crop loss. And food shortages are obviously inevitable with what we're seeing here again. It's a perfect storm, is what we're seeing going on. The swarms increased in Ethiopia and in Somalia. And so Somalia declared a national emergency. This is the largest swarms in over 25 years of these locusts, adding on to what we're seeing from the weather devastation. And so Asteroid 2020 CW, yesterday we were talking about all the ones that came by so close. Well, this one what came by at 0.04 lunar distance. This is within satellite distance. 8th closest on record. And it will make some more close calls in the future as well. Wild weather hits parts of Australia as bushfires destroy more homes. And again, this area has been so hammered through everything, really. The fires that just won't let up, the wild weather conditions. It, again, is just one thing after another. As I'm hearing this, what sounds to be a fleet of helicopters going off. I'll have to check out. Cindy just went to run out and take a look. Could be some military operations going on. Black Sea turns red, and this is in Russia. We've seen a lot of different waterways turning red. They don't know what caused this one. Of course, that sounds very biblical. Indian Ocean dipole reaches 0. Tropical Pacific Ocean remains ENSO neutral. And so drought conditions will probably persist in Australia, is what we're looking at here. And we talked about the volcano there. And so jumping over and checking out, Australia also has some rare summer snow. So we're seeing a little bit of everything over there. And we have record snowfall delays hundreds of flights. And this is in Utah. And it's very cold out today. It's unusually cold. So 17 best veggies for bucket gardening. It's a good idea to get stuff growing, guys. And we see beans. And again, if it's going to be the vining type, go ahead and set a lattice work in there or something for them to climb up on when you're going ahead and planting them. Bush type, you don't have to worry about that. Beetroot, carrots. Yes, you could do carrots. Chilies, love hot and spicy stuff. Cucumbers, green onions, all sorts of herbs. And there's nothing like cooking with fresh herbs. Lettuce, melons, okra, and onions, as well as peppers and potatoes. And I watched a video on growing potatoes in buckets the other day. Very informative as well. So my friends, thank you guys so much for your support over on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Join us over there as well as we keep the channel going through these times. As always, my friends, be prepared to take your preparations to an all new level. God bless and namaste.